And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Gamer Days Community Cup for Valorant. As we are now back in with all the action once again. Your boy Aggressive is here with Salty on my side to bring you the next set of games here. It seems as though we're still going to be in for a long one. Again, going to be 3 BO1s in front of your screens today. And today's matchup is where things are going to get a lot more interesting because ChillCord, they're going to be playing once again. And I'm really excited to see what that game has in store for us. But before we go into that, we need to, of course, talk about the prize pool, the moolah that these players are fighting for. 3 lakh INR on the line, with the winners getting the lion's share of the prize pool at 2 lakhs just by themselves.
I mean, that is insane, right? I mean, you have 2 lakhs as the winners, and of course, just being the runners-up, you get 1 lakh rupees. Can be life-changing, to be honest. We move on to the next part of the show. Of course, as we progress, it is going to be very interesting to find out how the teams adapt. You mentioned ChillCord is going to play today. I am so excited.
Absolutely. ChillCord's game is going to be one of the biggest ones that we have to consider too. But at the same time, it seems still the first initial match that we have in front of our screens today is going to be a little bit questionable too. Because I don't really know what to expect on that regard. Because the first match that we heard of today is going to be Navi going up against Divergent eSports. Because the way that this format has now panned out, a lot of teams that we're going to be seeing are, of course, those up and coming squads, right? These qualifier stages are of course going to be geared a little bit more towards those up and coming teams, and if they're not unfortunate enough to go up against the big teams that we saw from the other days, then they have a pretty good chance of pushing their way forward, especially from the side of Divergent eSports. I'm pretty sure they have a couple of really good players, but I'm really interested to see on whether or not Navi as a team, is this the real deal, or am I being trolled here by production and everyone else on the back end? Oh, it seems as though my buddy Salty has
that is
vanished. That's back.
The most trivial error that an online caster can do. Forget to unmute his mic. But never mind. The point that I was trying to make is that I'm seriously getting a feeling that you are heavily getting trolled aggressive, because again, Navi, India, Valorant, it's definitely very dicey, bro. Again, but if they do have aspirations as big as Navi, then there can be hopes of a good competitive match, and that is all that I'm looking forward to.
Yep, absolutely. If they're able to play on that exact same level, maybe you're going to see a couple of big names here and there as well. If this is actually the real case and we're not being trolled, then it's going to be quite impressive to say the very least. But at the same time, I'm going to keep my expectations on the low side. Divergent eSports, though, they still do have my expectations on that regard. The player names, I'm pretty sure some of you have heard them as well, as we are going to be jumping on down over into the game soon enough. No age selection here, ladies and gentlemen. We're jumping directly in. We're going to be talking about everything there. But for now, it's all about building up to that moment, right? Building up to that initial flow that we always have to talk about. Today's games, I do believe, could be the ones to really go the distance as well. Yesterday, we did see a bunch of 13-4s, 13-2s really come through with only one game that we did see with Binary Legion taking 7 rounds away from...
was it 7 or was it 5?
7.
Was it 7?
I remember exactly.
7?
It was being 7.
You sure? I trust aggressively
Yeah,
this time.
sure.
I blindly trust this.
Yeah, Team EXO it was yesterday.
That is wrong then. How can I trust you, bro? You said Binary
No,
Legion.
it was Team EXO. Yeah, Team EXO was the one that won at 13-7. Yeah, Binary Legion was the one to take 7.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. So, but never mind. Yeah, one of those games good to watch. But then I really want to see one of those games where it actually goes to overtime, man. It's been a long time. We've seen an overtime happen.
I mean like an overtime in the round of 64. Like in a round of 64, getting an overtime game is like very rare, and I don't think it's ever gonna happen. But finally, we do see Dieversity eSports going up against the side of Navi. This is where the fun will really start to begin, as I don't really see any names that I do know from the side of Navi. And this first initial couple of players that we have seen, Unknown 69 and Lemon Master. My favorite fruit, by the way, lemon, but
Lemon
so
is
wait
your
a minute,
favorite
how
fruit?
deep? Lemon is a fruit. You don't know that?
It's your favorite?
Yeah.
Spike down, C.
I question your choices now.
What? I eat lemons with everything, but what we cannot question is the members of Dieversity, because I think you already saw a couple of the names on their side, right? F-Noob, One Tap God, Som is here as well. So it's like incredible, every single one of these players that they have on their roster. Energy Som is of course someone else. It's actually another player that has a very similar name of Som as well. F-Noob we already know and love. One Tap God is also incredible. So Dieversity, they should be the ones to take this purely on the basis of, hey, this is a team that is full of the greats from all those years back.
Interestingly enough, I have a hunch that Navi might just be able to pull this off. Maybe not the victory, but I think the better of the two teams. Let's find out though. I mean, Dieversity winning their pistol round quite comfortably, to be honest. And didn't really get to see a lot of movement coming in from Navi as well. It seems like they were all pincered down from multiple flanks that Dieversity had set up, but this time it seems like one of the Arises just come to the picture, and it did go berserk. One of the players being tapped down. It is none other than one tap god.
One
Still
tap
managed to
god.
find
253.
What on earth was that? He sends in the drone.
And he lives?
Moments before, he just does not live. He gets back to 100 HP.
Nah, that is criminal. The fact that one tap god even survived it for this long. Still has a chance to go in for the ace, but he runs out of bullets right at the very end. A 4K for one tap god, but he's now one step closer towards that Hunter's Fury. That's all that you need to see. And if I do remember properly, Energy Storm is actually Salon. I'm very sure that this is Salon on the side of Dieversity because no one else used that name other than him. But god damn it, Navi, in this last round from the side of A-Shore, you already cleared out one tap god. He was out in the open, but the fact that he still got 3 kills, he's got out alive, peeked out and got another kill after the heal came in from the Sage. That is criminal.
I think that is one of the whiff of the game, to be honest. I think Navi might just have won the game with that miss, but never mind. Let's see if they can actually find confidence back in their way. This time it seems to be like a C hit. The Vexy is already there, found a bulldog for himself. Multiple players positioned, they are ready. Dieversity wants Navi to enter the side, and Reina finds the opening pick. He's still in a lovely position. That's a couple. Might actually get a third as well. This is easy pickings.
Toxic.
Move about. Dieversity. They are showing their strength in Dieversity.
Absolutely. Good wordplay on that end, but I have to give it to Som for that one, that he did have a little bit of a TikTok wall in that corner. Because no one can really see Som in that exact position because of the way that he placed out that Sage barricade. Because I do believe that that creates a one-way angle where only the Sage can see through it. So it was a tough spot for anyone to come in towards that C side. And even though the members of Navi were able to find those 2 kills, they don't really have a Sova on the map, right? And without that Sova, you're not easily going to be able to find a lot of these opening pickups. One tap god still being as aggressive as he normally is on this Sova, trying to find that opening kill. He's the only one holding onto the A side, but with the backup already coming in, one tap god is still going to be holding strong.
This is obnoxious, to be honest, because Navi just keep pushing in and they are digging their own graves at this point. Look at the way one tap god kind of lures the opposition right into the trap. And Navi being so blindsided, they don't even care. That was running to your death as quickly as possible when you knew one tap god is guarding the exit. Not the exit, the entrance of that A side. You could have found a little bit of quote-unquote diversity over there. Could have tried something different, possibly a late A hit if you wanted to go A, but that was not the case. He wanted to challenge him on a 1v1 duel, and none of the utilities actually working out together. The combinations, the way the breach flash works is somebody needs to be present to get those kills. Nobody is there. This time as well, the breach flash kind of being a little amateur. Navi still struggling to find that entry. Blocked off by just a single smoke and the Odin, which for sure is going to cause problems, but that was a teleport. Vexy does manage to shut him down, and Som with the Odin is ever so crucial. Look at Vexy go. One by one, popping those heads, and it's just Juggler. Juggler trying to juggle a lot of juggles. He finally loses. Gets juggled by a dagger from Panda's jugglers.
Oh god. I was surprised that you actually caught yourself on that one when he saw that name, but here God, ladies and gentlemen, this is what gamers are like. So there's nothing that you can do to change that.
I held myself back.
You were this close to slipping.
Yeah, I've never been closer.
Give it to the juggler to really put the casters on edge for that one. We're gonna be on our toes for this. That's for certain. One small misstep, but we're probably gonna be the ones on the chopping block instead, just like one tap gone now. possibly getting rushed upon by at least 4 different players already. The entrance yet to be covered in as Vexy does get the opening kill over towards the first. Reyna trying to go in for a little bit of an equalizer. The spray just does not connect, and all the members of Dieversity just raining down hell upon their opposition. Knife in hand, and one tap god goes in to create a little bit of an opening on his own. 6-0, ladies and gentlemen, as the members of Dieversity are in a league of their own.
They certainly are. It's been established already that this team, they have found themselves momentum which is unmatched. One time God, if he has confidence like that to actually go against the breach with a dagger, I feel like Diversity in their heads, they know it, they are winning the game. It's just about how many rounds are they going to give to Navi. And it doesn't seem like the way Navi is playing, it doesn't seem like they have a plan. It seems like they're just going in, trying to win one duel at a time, but that is unfortunately not how you play Valorant, especially at this stage. Not even in the round of 64.
Yeah. Another big problem that they do have has to be the agent selection too. You don't have a Sova on this map. Having an info recon here is just so crucial if you want to take a victory here, but the Juggler able to catch out his own counterpart here. Immediately shutting down one, but it seems as though Sam with an Odin, the Allfather, just raining down hell from the background with Vexy just following up. 7-0, these rounds just started and it's already over, and we could just be in for a quick one here for game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, because the members of Dieversity, they're on the defensive side, but they seem to be the ones who are attacking instead of the actual attackers.
Yeah, they certainly are attacking a lot, to be honest. I mean, even Navi is, but their attacks are being a little unsuccessful at this point, I feel. Purely a skill difference at this point. Aggressive, I feel like the mechanical difference also is quite heavy. Navi needs to find a way to actually try and calm down, possibly. First up, figure out a way to play around the fakes, get themselves that one little round that they are desperately missing. Commander yet again is going to chip in with yet another kill. So my word, they are tormenting this team right now. With the Odin on the C side and one tap goal on the A side, Navi are literally left helpless aggressive. They cannot venture into a single territory without the risk of being hunted down and traumatized.
Yeah, this is very much apparent, and for the members of Navi, it seems to be a little bit more of a learning experience, I would say here. Because on this side, Dieversity is just... They're on a league of their own for this very reason, right? Think about it.
Yeah.
The way that they play, the way that they are doing things is just purely based upon their experience. Every single one of these players, they've played in Tier 1, or at least in the Tier 2 scene for the longest amount of time. So the level of experience that they have is going to be far outmatched by anything that Navi could be bringing onto the table here.
I have one objection though. I don't want this team to be called Navi. Can we call them NAVI? Because it feels weird to say Navi and weird to call out a place like that. Never mind. We get back to the game, ladies and gentlemen, where it's still a 3v3 and all the players of Navi, or rather NAVI, has actually been spotted. Good neural theft at that was activated, but will it be fruitful is certainly my question. One tap god, easy pickings for him yet again. Forced to be better, will be forced to be quiet. At least the next round. Jungler gets juggled off while reloading, and Lemon Master. I like the creativity in the names of this team, to be honest. I don't think gameplay was their forte, aggressive. I feel it has always been their naming skills, and we've got to give it to the boys. I haven't seen names as entertaining as these in quite a long time. Like, imagine this. Imagine this. You have Lemon Master and Boob Juggler in the same team, bruh.
It makes me think of that song, the Lemon Tree song. I would sing it right now, but I'm a little bit worried about copyright. Hey, I'm not that bad at singing, okay? But for now, though, Vexy, okay, maybe biting off a bit more than he can chew here with that Outlaw. Love the skin, but a bit too over-ambitious when it came down to that overall hit here. No flashes, no nothing. They're just like pushing out these angles purely on the basis of some information that they're able to gain. One tap God in for the fight. F-Noob's gonna be the first one to take that engagement. He's looking for more. Cypher Tripwire is gonna cause some problems. That's gonna be the first one coming in from the side of Plasma, but F-Noob still alive and kicking. Vexy in the sidelines. Paranoia to be let her rip here from the sides as Vexy gets one more, and F-Noob finishes things off with the last 10-0 as Dieversity. They're the ones still in control, and is that big of a surprise? No, not really, because this team is just like a well-oiled machine.
I want to see the strength of this team when they actually face opponents like Rat Syndicate. But talking about NAVI though, it seems to be like one of the first games of the Intel Community Cup that actually will end one-sided. Quite literally. Would love to see a clean sheet from Dieversity, especially with the way they're going, but it is going to be a little difficult when things change, especially when the halves change as well. A Rolling Thunder pops out, but basic errors yet again. This time, Som catched them quite comfortably, even the breach falls as well. Wow! The flashes, the breach ultimates, shooting it down the drain. Wasted like fun. And now they are lining themselves up. This is just flawless from Dieversity. Flawless from NAVI as well. I've never seen a team commit so many mistakes in a row all at once.
I mean, I guess they just are giving it away to them. This is just a little bit questionable in a lot of regards here, but Hakuna Matata, right? This is, of course, the round of 32 here, ladies and gentlemen. So there's not really much that you can do to go up against a team of this caliber. You just have to accept your fate and just be like, okay, time to go next, I guess. Because, yeah, the first initial game for us has been a little bit one-sided, but maybe game number 2 and game number 3 won't be the same.
Speaking of Vexy, this man is looking for yet another flawless. Navi did find a way to actually enter the side, but look at the way Dieversity are positioned. One of the players from Navi, that is going to be Juggler, will come in from the back lines, and that will be exciting. Can actually add some versatility, but this man does not want to stop. Vexy, though, from the back lines was shut down, but just for a second, because trades were always supposed to come in 12-0 for Dieversity. And I think victory is just moments away.
Seems to be the case here. With members of Dieversity now. Will this be the first and last 13-0 to happen in the entire tournament? That's going to be another big question. As for now, things have probably going to take a turn for the better here for this team, as Navi now are trying to maybe, just maybe, mount a possible comeback here if we are the believers. But as soon as those gun rounds do roll in, the members of Dieversity are still, of course, going to be in control. And at the end of the day, this is not only a difference in skill level when it comes down to the aim game, but also in the overall composition, because the members of NAVI just didn't really have any form of information to play with throughout the entire game. They're relying on pure utility to do it, and look at F-Noob just running down full sprint with a knife in hand. Now that is something that does not happen often.
Vexy, though, this time goes in for a second.
One enemy remaining.
4v2 situation, make it a 4v1 all by himself. Last play, I think he's gonna get knifed. Forced to be better. No way. They did not let him jump him. But ladies and gentlemen, there it goes. The first map of a kind, the first match where it actually ends 13-0. You don't expect that to happen, Aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, in a round of 32, sorry, it's bound to be the case, but at the same time, just give it or take it. Like, it's completely fine and dandy. Don't really worry about that at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. What you guys should be worried about is the links down below in the description instead, because in the celebration of the Intel Gamer Days, Amazon is offering up to 40% off on select Intel Core powered gaming laptops till the 31st of August. And that's not all. You can also do also get an additional instant bank discount of up to 8,000 INR if you do check out all the links down below. You'll see the retailers, of course. You'll see the products. It's all Intel. It's all powerful. So get yourself a laptop right now if you want to play Valorant, and maybe play on the levels of the members of Divergent eSports. You never really know. So at the end of the day, you have to
Diversity.
see what's down there. Okay, fine.
Diversity, bro. Divergent.
Diversity
has lost itself.
Yeah, after what happened, it's a 13-0, man. I'm diverting myself over to the opposite side. Okay, I'm diverting myself to Amazon right now, and that's better. Oh,
Well,
God.
everything that you said did actually make sense. I mean, especially about the Intel powered gaming laptops. They certainly are amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, check that out. I'm pretty sure I'm going to send a couple of them to NAVI as well so that they can call themselves Navi finally. But never mind, I'm just a troller. I just have fun sometimes. But moving on ahead, Aggressive, do we have any competitive match in store, man? Every single day I come here waiting for that competitive match. We even talked about an overtime before this game itself, but none of that is happening. What are you doing, brother?
I mean, it's just a reverse overtime, right? At 30-0 scoreline. We're ending things off on a round of 12 instead of a round of 24. So at the end of the day, let's give it the chance, right? Maybe the ChillCord match is going to be a little bit more interesting. That's going to be game number 3 for you, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 will be in front of your screen soon, but let's go for a tiny bit of an overview at the end of the day, I guess, because there's not really much to talk about for this match. This was a 30-0 and the biggest skill gap that I think we have seen, even comparison to day number 1 and day number 2, because at least in day 1 and day 2, most of the games that even went to a much more one-sided affair was at least a 13-4 or even a 13-2 scoreline.
You know, I can describe the situation much better. So, Diversity eSports is basically the kind of gameplay that my best friend thinks he actually plays. But the gameplay he actually plays is NAVI. He thinks he's Diversity eSports, but he's actually Navi. All right, I'm gonna say it straight up, and possibly even clip it up and send him to on his DM as well. But coming back to the scorecard, I mean, 13-0, nothing much to talk about apart from brilliant performances from Vexy. Man had a hunting season in this match itself. All our juggling players did not really juggle the opposition well. They kind of choked themselves to death, but I think it was a good experience. I mean, I'm not sure if this is going to be a good experience or a traumatizing one, but at least it is going to be an experience for the boys. And knowing that these guys, they're so creative in their names, I'm sure they're very chill, they're very creative, and they're very fun. They possibly play this game for fun as well, because you can actually do that. Valorant is not always for trying hard, ladies and gentlemen. You can actually take care of your mental health as well. These guys were doing that, but good stuff for Diversity. I'm just so hoping they go ahead further in this tournament itself.
Yeah, they will, 100%. This team, of course, has those big names on their side, but will those big names be able to take out the other ones? Now, that's going to be the real question, but we're going to see other 2 bigger names possibly coming in game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to be setting everything up for that. Make sure to check out all the links down below in the description. Again, check out Amazon, check out all the deals for the Intel powered gaming laptops. But for now, we're going to be heading on out, and we're going to be back with you real shortly with a lot more Valorant action for the Intel Gamer Days Valorant Community Cup. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with the Intel Gamer Days Community Cup for Valorant. Round of 32 is going to continue with another BO1 in front of our screens right now. It's going to be Syndicate going up against Ram&Sons. And I'm really excited for this one because it's Syndicate again, your favorite, the team that you keep bringing up every single goddamn time. So let's see if they're going to be able to deliver, or will Ram&Sons have something that we have not yet seen?
Oh, for sure they are going to deliver. I'm 110% sure that Red Syndicate is going to deliver yet again. They're going to deliver faster than Amazon Prime. But if you want things delivered, like especially Intel-powered gaming laptops, you can check the description down below. But never mind, ladies and gentlemen. Coming back to Red Syndicate, they excite me all the time, but I'm not sure who they are up against. And I am sick and tired, aggressive, of watching one-sided games. Like I said, I want to see some competitive affair. I hope that the team that they are starting to face is a good side.
Yep. Yeah, I'm really excited to see if the members of Ram&Sons can actually pull this one off, because one of the other big problems that we have seen is it's the round of 32, right? So most of the games are a little bit more one-sided than it should be, other than the one of Team Exo versus Binary Logic. I think that's the closest one we are going to be able to get up till now, because I'm kind of afraid of what's going to happen for game number 3 as well, because it's ChillCord after all. ChillCord has Helip on that team, so they're a different breed entirely. And on the side of Rat Syndicate, they also have a lot of very incredible players that do tend to troll quite often as well. So it could go the distance. It could be a game where the players are having a lot of fun, but you never really know what to expect. So at the end of the day, let's just give them an opportunity to really heat things up here. And it seems as though in this BO1 series, a lot of teams are just going towards Haven as much as they possibly can. They're not really picking up any of the other maps.
That is surprising. I think the amount of Haven that I've seen in this stage of the competition is absurd, because I didn't know that a Haven is considered to be comfortable by so many. Because in my opinion, if you want balance, if you want like versatility, you would possibly go with one of the maps that has 2 sides. But then going ahead with Haven, yes, for sure it is one of the oldest maps, but it still was a risky pick, especially for teams like maybe, let's say, who did they?
Ram&Sons?
NAVI, NAVI, especially for teams like them. They should have actually gotten something different. Maybe according to their play style, they could have chosen something like an Ascend or a Bind, just to keep things simple. But no, I think that is exactly where the majority of the difference lies, because see, the more experienced teams will always know how to function around maps like Haven much better. And I think that is where the difference lies, where it's not just mechanical skills, but also the strategy of running around a map that is causing a difference between the two teams.
Yep. Like, another big thing that we don't really talk about quite often as well is that most of the other maps in this game just doesn't really facilitate that diverse playstyle as compared to the most others, right? Haven, I do believe, is one of those maps that most teams can now rely on as a litmus test to be that perfect map that you want to go upon, because on this map you can play pretty much 4 different sets of combinations and it's just going to be working out well for you. Rat Syndicate again picking up the almost exact same setup as they did previously, with Paradox now picking up an Omen instead. He was the Breach last time and now he's the Omen. I don't know, Rat Syndicate, they're just being as tricky as they possibly can in the setups that they go for.
I mean, for sure, but Paradox does play Omen quite a lot. I mean, especially in his competitive games, I've seen Paradox play those Omen plays. But we'll have to find out if that is going to work out or no. But ladies and gentlemen, we head straight into the game where Ram&Sons, they are on the defense side of things, and the Rad on the attack, initially wanting to be on towards the A side. They lost Tricky because of a cleverly placed Cypher Tripwire. Shots being exchanged. Paradox still survives, but just by a sliver of HP. Elite Paradox, but Coco will not, and as of yet, it's a 1v2 for Rat Syndicate. He has managed to find a way to isolate the Frags, being chased by it. MCAS on the frenzy, still managing not to connect, but wait, that was weird. The last movement was weird, but Ram&Sons, Surprisingly or unsurprisingly, they won the first round. Aggressive.
I have never seen an omen by 2 teleports on a pistol round. I'm more confused about that in comparison to what Rat Syndicate just did. They just tried to run into the site, right? They didn't really know what to expect from their opposition. They expected them to just be sitting inside of the site, but instead the Cypher buying those double trips, really getting those opening frags from the top side of heaven was what they really needed because Rat Syndicate, they were not really expecting it whatsoever. So with that initial opener, they are in a little bit more of a better mode, but it seems as though they're not really worried about it. Not opting to go in for a force buy just yet. Instead, it's going to be Coco once again over from the top rope here. The strip wire does get broken in this instance. Trap yet to be spotted. Bud and a perfect kill coming in from Coco once again. This one Cypher on the A side has been a big thorn on their side. That's Paradox now taken off of the board early on in this round, and that's going to be a huge problem for them to try and get back from.
I don't know, aggressive. You might actually find this a bluff, but I feel like the Rat Syndicate, they just starting to gauge the opposition now. The first round as well as the round this time around that they're playing seems like just a strategy to counter what the Ram&Sons are doing. UV meanwhile on the Sheriff being deadly, but not so much against Coco as this Cypher still stands. And stands till the end of it. A round victory which was anticipated, especially because of the economy. Now, I feel like the Rat Syndicate will start respecting their opposition a little bit more because I did not expect players like Tricky and Paradox to not communicate and to get caught in the same Cypher trap twice in succession. If they're not doing that, they're possibly taking it very chill, but if they started doing it, I think that is when the Rat Syndicate will start winning their rounds and will start respecting the opposition.
Absolutely. This is where the game is really going to start to get interesting here for their side, but with the buy round now rolling in, this could go in either direction. Once again, seems to be a little bit of a split here from the members of Rat Syndicate as they're trying to figure out exactly where they want to go in next for this fight. It's Ram&Sons. They do have a little bit of weaker weapons going into their side, especially with the amount that they did lose in that last round, but it's completely fine and dandy. Paradox being that first line of contact, already trying to go in for that walk up. He's worried about the Cypher trip possibly catching him out here. It's Paradox, positions revealed. He does get the tripwire at the bare minimum. Uses the smokes very late into the round as they were trying to walk in. So these smokes are going to be lasting for a while. With the spike going down as well, this is going to burn a lot of time where Ram&Sons possibly need to break through a smoke if they want to go in for this hit.
But look at this. Paradox in position already for that paranoia. In fact, Homeboy is going to force the issue. He finds the frag as well. And on the other side, lands up a double on towards heaven. Love this. Rat Syndicate looking to head back this time around. Taking care of the majority of the opposition. Stinks needs to stay alive because the arena bit 10 seems to be deadly. It's a 1v2 right now, but no more time for this man. Will get blasted away by the spike, and before that happens, Sinks chinks the armor. Rat Syndicate, they win their first round,
Ouch.
but at the cost of a lot of weapons. Now, is that going to be enough?
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of an issue for them, but the fact that Sinks didn't really opt to go in for a full buy here, and instead he's using the regen shield, he's going to be able to buy one of his teammates a weapon at the bare minimum. That will alleviate some of the damage and some of the pressure, but the members of Rat Syndicate, they really do need to bring themselves back into this in a little bit more of a better light, unless they do. That economy difference is going to be hounding them for quite a while. Even if you win out on rounds, it doesn't matter at the end of the day because Ram&Sons, that last round for them was an eco round and they pulled off a very successful eco. And with that op now in the hands of the Jet, this is going to be quite an issue. Cypher once again being an absolute nuisance here on this A side, can just wait out towards the side of heaven or even on the entrance here. He's looking for this opening kill, and this Cypher setup for them has been a boon for these last couple of rounds.
Drone just spot one of the lads as of yet, but a lot of casualties. But then from somewhere did I hear that operator? Sinks has been taking down Paradox with the paranoia. Will try to get this entrance blocked. Yet another player being revealed, but the paranoia timing is brilliant. Tricky, even though The mechanics on that shot wasn't perfect. He still managed to land it. But he actually falls as well. Rat Syndicate, they are struggling to actually keep this side underneath their control. But time passes and the spike will explode.
Yeah, they don't really have anything to worry about for that particular round, but it was a little bit too close for comfort for their own good here. Ram&Sons just had a pretty good take going in for them. You can tell that all their players, they do have very good mechanics overall, but the way that they utilize their time is not as predominant. They left it all up to Coco, but the fact that Coco had a much more defensive setup for this play, and because of the fact that the members of Rat Syndicate went in for a little bit more of a diversification in their overall play as well, where they walked in instead of going in for an earlier execution, the members of Ram&Sons just couldn't really go in for an early enough rotation where the time just wasn't their friend anymore at that stage of the game. 2-2 now on the scorecards. You still have to worry about the economy overall for the members of Rat Syndicate. They are winning rounds. Yes, they won 2 consecutive rounds, but when you look at their eco, if they lose this round, it's all but over for them. Even with the win streak bonus, they're not going to be able to stabilize as much.
I think I completely agree with you, but as of yet, I think the Rat Syndicate, they are trying to take things a little slow as of yet.
Oh, hello?
Keys
Piano?
with the operator. Not in one of the greatest of positions, but he still managed to escape. Not anymore. Oh boy. What a home run. What a chase was that. Tricky find success elsewhere. Not just one, not just two, but three in fact. And Navigas will be the only player with a hope. But that hope is going to shrink as the Rat Syndicate, they mount a comeback. They get 3 rounds back to back to kind of switch things up inside of this game. And now Ram&Sons, they might have to rely on their superpower, and their superpower will be the 5 ultimates that they have accumulated so far.
I need to see where they go with this one here. So on this 3-2 scoreline now, the members of Rat Syndicate looking to go as deep as they possibly can for these hits. And with the A side now right for the picking, once again, they're looking for the hit here. Homeboy being the first line of contact. They know the exact position of the jet, but the real question is, can they pick him up? But the kill contract possibly did get a catch out of one of the players. MK, good for the opening kill, catches out one, but Tricky instantly answers back the kill contract in his favor. Ultimate now utilized to try and brute force this entry. They have to be careful not to hit it by accident. Paradox is going to be good for another kill. The trades do come through. 3v3 now across the entire map. And UV, the Sixth Sense, working wonders. But Coco is just so much faster on the trigger. He gets the kill, and he's going to be able to shut him down. That's a spike now dropped on towards the side of A-Mid, and Coco has full control of it.
Now this is going to be a big problem, especially with the way Tricky is kind of underperforming at this point inside this game so far, because I feel like he's done really well with pressure off his shoulders, but when the time is against him, especially with no trade potential whatsoever, I've seen Tricky fall more often.
Look at the rotation from this
side,
though. That is so smart.
It certainly is. It definitely is, but I think this neural theft is going to give him an idea. Paradox knows already where it's going to come from, and Coco shines with the shot. Ram&Sons, they are taking things tight, and I love this. I love the way they are battling Rat Syndicate, and I love the way the Rat Syndicate are getting punished for the mistakes that they're making.
Absolutely. This is exactly what you want to see, Rat Syndicate. You can't really underestimate your opposition like this. You're trying to rush a little bit too much. Playing for map control would be a lot more better, because you can tell that Ram&Sons, they are not a team that should be trifled with whatsoever. A little bit of a lineup here being done by UV as they're trying to make their way in towards the opposite side of the map now. But look at Coco and look at the way that he's setting up here. He's all the way in towards the seaside now. This is a Cypher player that knows what the hell he's doing, because he's not afraid to go in for constant rotations. He's not afraid to keep his opponents guessing constantly. He's utilizing his tripwires to get a lot of these opening frags out as well, but at the end of the day, it's not really going to be the case like that. As Paradox, where is he going? What
He's
happened?
going somewhere to find the love of his life. Will he find her? That's the question. Are you going somewhere to find your love of your life?
And maybe I'm gonna be going
I
down onto the links in the description as
oh,
it seems as though it
wow.
could be a round
Thank
rollback. No,
oh,
that's a round rollback right there.
the way you said you're gonna go down, I was like, thank God you
I
just
mean,
mentioned the links in the description.
okay. What did you
I
think,
was
Salty?
like,
Get your mind out of the gutter, bro. You gotta think about it. It's the Intel Gamer Days. I have to go down in the links in the description. Check out Amazon because they're offering up to 40% off on select Intel-powered laptops, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be like Salty. Don't be that boy who's in the gutter. Instead, be the ones who are going to get the Intel Gaming Power laptops. And of course, we have a selection of other discounts as well. And of course, instant bank discounts on select cards as well. So make sure to check out all the links down below in the description for those ones. But as we're jumping on back in towards the game here, I do believe that there were some problems with a couple of the players having some issues. So we will be doing a round rollback almost immediately so that the players are in a little bit more of a better situation for this particular round. So overall, though, I do believe that Ram&Sons are now in a little bit more of a better situation in general. They have given away their positions on the seaside, so there's not really a situation where I see the members of Rat Syndicate go over to that side in this round in particular, but knowing how they have been playing, they need to be a little bit more coordinated or at least try to communicate with one another on what they're trying to do, because these last couple of rounds you could tell that they had an idea of what was going on, but they didn't really tell their teammates of what's going to happen next. Oh, I love this teddy bear. I wish I played through the game at the time to get that.
I wanna squish that too. Nice shock dart, but finds no one. Co. This time though, on towards Garage, seaside completely open. Team Rat Syndicate, they find an easy entry, and in fact, it seems like the threat from the Garage has been extinguished as well. UV will find that Hunter's Fury, will try and stop the blood, and it seems like Rat Syndicate, they are already a step further because they're not even trying to plant or get the side. They're trying to kill everybody! And they kill them in one quick swoop.
They just got ran down upon in this particular round. Coco dying out early just immediately caused the problems for them. He tried to sit inside of the smoke, but that is a very common spam spot that you need to worry about here. And on this 3-4 scoreline, ladies and gentlemen, the members of Rat Syndicate, they do win another round on a very decisive fashion, and that is very crucial for them to build that economy, to make sure you stabilize yourself, not just for this round, because there is a loss that could be inevitable. While the members of Ram&Sons, I do believe that they are being forced onto another eco, so this is another possible hit towards that seaside. As you can tell, that the defenders, they're trying to make a brute force rush over towards mid and possibly catch out one, but instead Sinks is going to be the one to put them into the grinder. Instead, Yanu's going to be able to find one kill, does find the trade, does get a weapon for his teammates, but they've lost out on 2 bodies to try and get this one weapon, which, in my opinion, is not a favorable trade.
It certainly is not, but that is the best case scenario that you can actually ask for. 2 losses in exchange for 1 fit-in actually puts an end to UV as well, and look at that, Paradox will get down easy.
That's so
Still
smart.
trying to make their way in, but that is not how it's going to work out, especially when Rat Syndicate, they've got positions inside of the side. You can't expect to just hop in and expect to find those kills. That is not happening.
You gotta love it when you see it here, ladies and gentlemen. The members of Rat Syndicate, they're able to find a lot of these openers early on, and the fact that Sinks was able to find a double kill there was the actual criminal part of this entire round. He should not have found 2. Ram&Sons, though, I have to give credit where credit is due. Their plays have been very accurate to what should be done on the map of Haven. They're not really overcommitting to a lot of these fights, and one of the bigger problems that they are facing is that lack of utility. Look at the amount of util that the members of Rat Syndicate have in comparison, which will be their biggest flaw for it all. Caught on an island here in a bad spot. It's gonna be a kill coming in from MK. He's gonna try to run this one away, and MK, he gets away with murder. He shuts out 2. They miss out on their shots, and they whiffed it all. Rat Syndicate, a blunder of the century, because MK, he's still alive. He's up for an ace. Possibly he's gonna be the one to get this one in. But Rat Syndicate, not like this, not in a million years. It's gonna be Sinks who does find the equalizer. Down over to a 3v1 now. It's his turn to try and be the one in the spotlight. Tries to go in for the kill, but it's just not gonna happen. Instead, it's gonna be V10 who shuts it all down. 4-5, it's Ram&Sons. Good God, what was this round?
That was so weird, bro. I mean, I didn't expect Ram&Sons to actually completely lose track of Paradox. So if you by any chance look at the instant replay, you would notice there's a brief period of time when Paradox is just sitting at the center of the site without catching anybody's attention. Meanwhile, everyone else is busy shooting elsewhere. And it's like, what is Ram&Sons doing? And I thought potentially Paradox is going to get everybody, but that was not the case because, again, MCAS just being so lucky in that round itself. 3 quick kills at the start of the all, and then, of course, landing on the 4th one as well. You've got to give it to this lad that he certainly managed to line up those shots, but for Syndicate to actually try that approach, not really impressed. Need to find out what else they can do. It seems like there is a little hiccup yet again, ladies and gentlemen. So we are back. You get to watch our beautiful faces yet again. How am I looking?
You're the only one that's beautiful here, and while there's me, who has a messy hair, and no matter how much I try to comb it, it just never.
Beautiful sounds fishy, bro. Beautiful. Nah, that is.
You're the one who said it.
Yeah.
You calling me fishy when you're the one who said it yourself. But ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing really much that we can do about it. I do think that Paradox is having some technical difficulties coming in from his end, so we're just gonna have to wait and see how it's gonna get fixed out. Hopefully it's not gonna be that significant of a problem, because that last round was the biggest wonder that we have seen in quite a long time. The fact that MK was able to teleport across the smoke, get a second kill onto Tricky, was where the biggest surprise really landed.
Yeah, I did not expect that to happen, right? I mean, especially with the way MCAS found the first couple through the smoke itself, I was like, alright, fine, that is really impressive. But then, deeping away from the side, getting another angle, and then finding another shot, and landing it on top of Paradox is not something that I expect. But we move on, ladies and gentlemen, yet another hit onto the C side, and this time, Hunter's Fury goes all in. The only difference is it does not catch anybody, so everyone from Ram&Sons is still alive, healthy, and kicking.
Oh, look at MK's. Oh, he tried to do it again. The poor guy. He tried to go in for a TP on the top of the side, and then another TP on towards platform, but it just didn't work out in the way he would have wanted. Now still a chance and opportunity for his teammates to go in big here. Homeboy does find the kill instead. Piano, he does find the double. He finds a triple from the back end with the backstab. He's still going strong. Piano! Oh my god, the man with the 4K. That heroic plays from the side of Ram&Sons is what's really astounding me. When you see the players of Rat Syndicate, they have such big names. The aimers on their team is insane to watch, but instead it's going to be Ram&Sons instead, who at each and every turn, these young guns, how are they doing this?
Yeah. It's just impressive, man. It's just young guns with young blood. You know, I mean, the back door is always risky. But then when you actually make it, when you have the confidence to breach past it, you get utmost out of it. The best results out of it. And I think that is exactly what Easy did, right? The Jet did over there. The way he spotted the timing and the gaps of that defensive setup was brilliant. Rat Syndicate had no answers to it. The pace of that backstab was also brilliant. This time though, they completely give up on their C hunt. Instead, they try and go up to B. Paradox being a little quick on the feet, finds Coco and Piano Keys as well. This time, there's a plethora of trades that is happening left, right, and center, and we're left with a 1v2. Is Rat Syndicate yet again up a lot of blood. This time though, they will be forced to gulp it down MCAS. Like it, I like it. Ram&Sons, they certainly are challenging the experienced lads.
Absolutely. This is where you have to worry about it all, ladies and gentlemen. A composition that doesn't really have a lot of utility to make it work. Composition that is very rank specific. Somehow it's just working out for them. Ram&Sons just showcasing that, hey, having some raw fundamentals is all that we need. And unless you're matching us on that fundamental note, you're not really going to be able to do much against us. Piano just playing basic Valorant. He went in for that perfect flank here. And I do believe that since he didn't place a good enough tripwire to try and catch out Piano in that spot. And it's rounds like this that will really just bring you back down to your knees here if you're not careful. because the members of Rat Syndicate, they do get another free plant going for themselves. But again, it's Coco. He's just so patient in the way that he's going in for these hits. Oh boy, over from the top row. He immediately gets straight out. Tricky does find the kill though. Takes us over to a 3v3 situation now. The 10 now looking for the swing. Has the Leer to give him a tiny bit of space. Lofting for the swing in the initial opener. It's going to be Tricky who still gets the kill. This is what you need from your ISO to go in for these hits. And finally, Tricky, he comes alive in the round. Gets a triple kill to his team. And takes a 6-6 scoreline as they swap over to the defensive half. And maybe, just maybe, this is going to be the turning point for the members of Rat Syndicate.
Hopefully. I mean, just by the looks of it, I don't think this is going to be a snowball affair. I don't think Rat Syndicate have enough technical and strategical advantage over Ram&Sons to completely one-side this affair after that first half performance. But I think they definitely have potential to get in the lead, because the less mistakes they commit, I think the better the situation is going to be, because Ram&Sons, all they're doing is to just punish down Rat Syndicate and their mistakes. And one of the ways to actually not commit those mistakes is by being extremely disciplined when you're defending. You don't have to do anything extra. So this should be Rat Syndicate and their situation, but it all comes down to how they handle the situation.
It's going to be quite the problem for them now. It's Tricky. First line of contact to try and go in for a hit here. He's knee deep in enemy territory. But for now, you're gonna need to see where they jump out from as Tricky. Perfect discipline! He peeked out trying to put on his shield. That is gonna be a little bit rough, but at the end of the day, it's just Tricky who died out here. The fact that he was able to take 2 players in the process is more than he could have asked for. The risky plays coming in from the members of Rat Syndicate finally taking shape here on this defensive side, and it seems to be working out well for them, but Ram&Sons, they still have a lot more fight left in them. Well, they did have a lot more fight left in them if MK didn't die and he dropped the spike in mid.
Shots connected from Coco. UV falls, but Ram&Sons, they are yet to dissipate the threat from Rat Syndicate, as 3 the players, they mark on different areas. B is being guarded by 2 of the players, but they lovely isolate the fact that there was multiple angles being checked. One side of the cage and everything flips on its switch. Beautiful stuff by Rat Syndicate. Ram&Sons, they are going to struggle a little bit right now.
Ram&Sons now. That last round was a little bit risky. They had to clear out those corners if they ever want to go up against a team like this. Rat Syndicate have really shown their true colors for this particular round, where overarching engagements for them is just about getting as much space as they possibly can. That's how you generally play Haven as well. You want to take a lot of these risky duels. You want to be as aggressive as you possibly can, not allow these attackers to get a lot of that free space. And this is true even more up against this particular composition, because don't forget, looking at the overall positioning and what amount of utility that they do have, it's going to be quite tough. Paradox, with just a Sheriff in hand, does find the opener. That's Viten now already taken off the table. The only one that could give a lot of utility, that's another one being taken out as well. That's your entry gone. And the members of Ram&Sons with the weaker weapons just get picked off one after the other. 6-8, ladies and gentlemen. Rat Syndicate on the defensive side looking to be in a world of their own.
They're not certainly in a league of their own as of yet, because I feel like the difference isn't massive. But can Ram&Sons make a comeback? It all comes down to this round. A full buy, which they will have to, some way or the other, take it in their half, take it in their side. 7 to 8 is something which is extremely needed and is extremely important. It all comes down to how they handle the pressure, because this time round, on the attacking side, Ram&Sons, they do appear to be a little less out of ideas on what to do. What did he just do?
The guy just tried to walk up forward when they put up a cyber cage. but he gave away his position in that exact spot. UV's not going to be able to find the shot here either. Piano instead gets the kill. Paradox is now going to be the one who's the first in line. Piano instantly shuts him down, and such a risky play for no apparent reason. Tricky, you don't even need to walk up that far. You had no information whatsoever. You didn't even have a teammate ready to back you up. What was the game plan there?
Tricky has not been playing his A game today, to be honest. I don't think this is the best performance that I've seen from Tricky yet, but Piano on the other side, this might actually be the best performance that I've seen from this guy, because he is fragging his minds out, and the reason why Rat Syndicate are struggling is him half the time. Because if this man can actually come up right up to your face and get a quadra, is allowed to get a quadra almost every other round, you are doing something wrong. And this time, the mistake that you called out, absolutely perfect. Should not really be pushing down the sewers on towards the A side if you do not have cover, if you do not have any information that you control the space upstairs. Tricky wanted to be a little over ambitious, but just got paid back. And I don't think he got paid back in kind. Look at the scoreline, 7-8. This was the round that Ram&Sons needed, and they got it. This time, though, now they have an opportunity to even things up.
He's doing it again.
I doubt if they have the weaponry aggressive.
This was so risky. Tricky again tried to go in for a push like this. Generally, this is not how you want to utilize the ISO, because the ISO should be the one to go in first generally, or go in second, because you do have that extra bullet shield to give you that slight bit of an edge up against those one taps, but it's just a little bit troublesome to say the very least. The members of Ram&Sons now, they're working their way up. They have dealt a lot of damage over towards Homeboy. They have the exact information of where the two duelists are playing, but knowing the Neon and with the fast rotates that could be coming in, UV does utilize the recon bolt to just give them that slight bit of an extra information that, hey, maybe we just need to go in for that instantaneous rotation over towards the opposite side. And now, without that Sova, their Cypher on the side of the defense is going to be such a big problem for them to deal.
He knows exactly that there will be multiple footsteps outside his big entrance, but is waiting for his right time, stacking up smokes after the other. This will prevent one of the players from entering on the side, but timing has been found, and Coco is gonna destroy UV. That might just fuel Paradox, because he was the one who was tasked with guarding his position, but he finally reclaims back the throne because two players were just caught napping. They had no idea of his presence, he had no idea of his presence, but, well, whoever has the last laugh ends up victorious.
What I love was the fact that Coco utilized that time when the Hunter's Fury was being ripped out, and he waited until the Hunter's Fury came out completely, and then opted to run in because he utilized that sound cue to mask his footsteps, and Paradox had no idea. He had no chance to even react to a situation like that. And if Coco knew exactly where Paradox was, this was a completely different round that could have gone in the favor of Ram&Sons. But that paranoia sound came through. He, in the heat of the moment, he was just not able to capitalize on top of it. Coco now in this particular round as well does take a little bit more of a backseat here. The trades do come through on either side, as Easy still going in for those kills. The Sova able to reign supreme over towards the side of Garden. It's gonna be another chance coming in from 6. Perfect angle, holding it tight here, as he's going to be able to find the kill. Down over to a 3v2 scoreline now. The Blade Storm still in the hands of the Jets, so there's still a good chance that they can turn this round on its head.
Ram&Sons, one player surviving. MCAS, I'm not sure if he has the capability of shutting down 3 players from Rat Syndicate, but they are definitely in search. Cypher, quite up on the aggressive lands. Meanwhile, Garage as well as the seaside being marked. They are yet to check A, and that will give them an indication that MCAS will be in that position. All comes down to where do they decide to step in from.
Watching this spot.
Spike, still time, but I want this guy to actually plant it a little more quicker, and this is exactly the reason why Sings has a perfect opportunity. He whips hard. MCAS still counting his days as of yet. The smoke is not going to help him, because as soon as the defense pops out the defuse. I don't think he'll be able to handle himself. The paranoia was beautiful. The teleport
No
has been
idea.
masked. He will not be able to find the connection. The anticipation was right, but the connection was not. And that's the reason why Rat Syndicate, they are going to take this run forward. But MKaz, he was certainly lucky. Good effort as well. Commendable effort, but did not turn out to be his success.
If the old pings in the game was still here, this could have been around in his favor. But sadly, those pings are long but gone. 7 to 10 on the map now, ladies and gentlemen, as the members of Rat Syndicate on this defensive side are looking to be a little bit better here with these overall hits, but at the end of the day, it's not really looking as good as you would have hoped for. Because for now, Rat Syndicate, they're in a little bit of a momentum breaker for the side of Ram&Sons, as the last round was a very important round for them to win out here because of the amount of utility and of course the investments that they did bring into the round. And in this particular one, opting for a more of a half buy, I do believe here, as the A side could be the opener that they needed, but with this 1-for-1 trade and with Homeboy being so fast for the pull-up, he's going to be able to find so many. A side trying to get taken over, but instantly traded back in kind. The members of Rat Syndicate, they're not giving an inch of space away to them, and the last two players from Ram&Sons are now stuck in towards the short side.
Towards the short side up. Paradox will try to make an entrance. Not an entrance, kind of like a re-entrance. Here's his friend getting killed by the Reyna. Instantly answers back, and now it's about Coco. He does get spotted, the spike on him. Will be pinged yet again. Tries to disguise his presence towards the side, but well read into. I love this.
30 seconds
And
left.
gives the presence on towards mid and B, and then returns back to dominate and hog the A side. Weapons loaded, guns in position. Sinks kind of read through this. He knows that he's gonna make a re-entry. Angles being checked, shots being fired, connections being found. Rad Syndicate on the defensive side is what I call out for, right? The fact that they do not have to commit any mistakes will be going in their favor, and all of a sudden it seems like momentum has been refound.
This is just Rat Syndicate for you, ladies and gentlemen. A team that really does well on that defensive side, but on that attack, they just have so much left to be desired for. Primarily because, again, they just don't really have the utility to break through. Haven is a map where flashes are pretty much a necessity in some cases, and that's why the Euro is just so strong. But Tricky already going in for engagement. Tricky has just been constantly peeking out from the side of A short, possibly getting a kill. And this round, yes, he does, but does get traded out also in the process. A side right for the picking for the members of Ram&Sons as they're working their way up, but the spike yet to get picked up here. They heard the sounds of the Cypher making a full run for it from the side of short as they're trying to go in for that push. One player should be holding, but instead, A side fully wrapped onto Ram&Sons. They need to make that isolated play that, hey, we should be pushing out in towards B-Link, but instead, this is gonna be a problem with all the members of Rat Syndicate now in towards the back. They can go in for an execute on their own, and this retake is all but theirs.
Instantly there's Homeboy, look at him. Shotgun stuck onto the face. Piano Keys is no more a threat than he was in the first half, and now Rat Syndicate, they are slowly taking it away. Only one round been given away on the second half, and this is what momentum can do to you. This is how the momentum of this game can turn at any point in time, to be honest, because Ram&Sons, in spite of having such amazing control of the first half of the map, they lost everything. Now, why it happens is because of their creativity. I think on the attacking side, you need to be a little more creative, especially when you're hitting a three-sided map like Haven. And they just haven't really been unreadable at this point. I think they are being extremely predictable, and Rat Syndicate, for them, it's like quite easy. Ultimate goes through for Homeboy, but it does not succeed so far as of yet. One of the players being stopped but aggressive. Ram&Sons, this might just be their last chance, their last hope of survival.
Could just be because it seems it's a paradox. He's just running things down here through the smoke, just instantly going in for those kills. Ricky doesn't really find the frag, but then the spray coming in. It's gonna be Paradox who ends things up with an ace. Give it up for the man in purple because Omen is just insane to watch. Paradox, of course, just channeling his energy up till the very end. I thought Salty was frozen for a second, but instead, that's just his reaction. Give it up for Paradox, ladies and gentlemen, because this guy deserves all the praise.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that a couple of his kills from that ace were basically the last bullet of his spray, which randomly finds a way to hit the head of the player through the smoke. And I was like, what is happening? But never mind, Valorant is such a game. Precise gunplay, ladies and gentlemen. But we come back to Rat Syndicate with a victory. What are your thoughts, Aggressive? The team that I'm supporting always ends up on the winning note.
Yeah, but it's just Rat Syndicate, right? But you have to give credit where credit is. So these young guns and these players on the side of the opposition really did bring a lot onto the table. They played out so well. Ram&Sons, I'm pretty sure this team, if they just had maybe like a Euro or even a Breach, I think they would have had so much more of an easier time because Reina Flashes, again, I will keep on talking about this. Reina Flashes are absolutely worthless now in this current meta. Even in rank, no one plays Reina as much anymore because her abilities are just that bad now. These flashes just get destroyed within 2 shots. And there's not really much that you can do anymore these days, especially in professional levels of play. That's going to get even more punished than what you do in rank. And it was very apparent here when it came down to the attack side. They just didn't really have much to do when it came down to trying to stop the members of Rat Syndicate from just funneling in towards the side. At least if they had a Euro, the Euro could have teleported into the side, utilizing a flash, allowed the Jet to maybe have a little bit more of an easier time taking those initial entries. That's how the Haven meta has really evolved, and at the end of the day, it just really came down to that composition, not really giving them much. Ram&Sons, yeah, they were good when it came down to the mechanics, but they have so much more to improve when it came down to the macro plays that they could have done in this particular map.
Especially on the attacking side, I think. On their defense, things were nigh perfect, especially even for Rat Syndicate as well.
True.
I think on the defensive side, both the teams played relatively well. But on the attacking side of things, I feel like this is where this team kind of fell back. Right, I was expecting a lot more, especially in terms of creativity, considering they're so well mechanically oiled up, right? The only thing which was missing is possibly a lot of coordination and a lot of communication in between the matches, but that was not happening. Don't know why, but hopefully it works out, man.
Absolutely. But what we are going to be working on here on the back end, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be game number 3. We're going to get the teams get prepped in and get ready for that one because the match is just about to start in about 10 minutes here. So we're going to be taking a very short little break for that one, ladies and gentlemen, because Shadow Frags versus ChillCord is right around the corner. Don't go anywhere, and make sure, of course, to check out the links down below in the description while you are waiting. And as we're setting everything up, see you in the next one. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for the Intel Gamer Days Community Cup for Valorant. The round of 32 continues with the last game for today, which is going to be ChillCord going up against Shadow Frags. Bringing you all the action is, of course, going to be your boy Aggressive with Salty on my side to bring you all of the action. And today, things have been a little bit one-sided, but at the same time, after what happened in game number 2, I'm kind of excited for this one as well, because ChillCord up against Shadow Frags. Now, I was talking at the back end, right, that Shadow Frags as a team, if they still do have their old roster, it might be difficult for ChillCord just a tiny bit, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem, because ChillCord is just full of those players that have already done it all. Like, they've won tier 1, they've won tier 2, and now they're here to just take it all away once again.
Wait, aren't you supposed to say it the other way around? They've won tier 3, they've won tier 2, and then they won tier 1. Like, they've won tier 1, so obviously they're gonna win tier 3, right? It doesn't make any difference. But this is the first time I'm gonna watch ChillCord and the gameplay, so I am excited. I'll watch out for something exciting. But meanwhile, you can fill me in with the combinations that we are about to see, because we have some interesting compositions.
Oh, beautiful wall coming through here. The Vice is going to be a little bit of a problem, but looking at Benka, he's not really worried about it that much. Drago is going to be able to find one more. Instantaneous trades do come through. Corrode is one of those maps that we haven't seen in quite a long time here, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, their levels of play, this is going to be the first time, as you can tell, that the members of ChillCord just working their way in towards this A site. Easily, they're going to be able to find that first initial opener that they did need for this hit to go through. And with this double controller setup, they're just able to find full control on every portion of the map. Ace trying to maybe go in for something bigger here, but Shadow Frags, I do believe they're going to take a backseat for this round. Oh.
LFTAs. He was successful against Kohli, but then against DC, it was really tough. Now it actually makes sense, Aggressive, why you were actually hyping up ChillCord, because now it seems like, yeah, that this is what you call a professional team.
Yep. All these players have just done it all, right, from the start up till the very end. But at the same time, you shouldn't really count out the members of Shadow Frags. They're also an up-and-coming team that have very incredible players on their roster. So at the end of the day, give them the chance, because they also have a pretty good composition that they're trying to go in for as well. The Taeho will be utilized up to its fullest. Taeho is one of the few characters that I would say is pretty potent on this particular map, even after all of the nerfs. But it's not going to be as simple as you would have wanted for perfect utilization of the utility to go in for the initial hit. They've gotten a lot of frags here, even in this eco round, as the members of ChillCord, they were forced back in to a very uncomfortable spot. But Techno, they still are going to be able to find those kills.
Insane stuff coming in from ChillCord, to be honest, because the way they are entering their attacks is brilliant. I just want to find out if Shadow Frags do have what it takes to kind of stop them. Now, this is the opportunity to strike. With the buy round coming in, I think if they do manage to get some early frags, they will kind of make a difference. Might stop the momentum on ChillCord's tracks, but certainly has to be difficult, especially with the professional experience that backs all the players, all the athletes from ChillCord's side. Certainly aren't chilling here, but can Maddie stop them? You talked about the Vice, you mentioned about how it is so crucial, and it does kind of help you, especially isolating your oppositions in weird positions. But as of yet, we did not get to see that utility show its full potential. ChillCord waiting outside the B site, and the entrance has been blocked. The read from Shadow Frags is also brilliant, and I like the way a couple of these players, they're still marking the mid and the A entrances.
Kohli now, he's going to be the first one to take this initial opener up against this Vice. It's going to be a little bit of an issue for them, because ChillCord, they don't really have the utility that they would have wanted for this hit to come in. Losi now playing towards the mid-side disconnector position is just so crucial for them to hold on to. Dragon's going to be the first line here over for this A main push. As Ace now looking for the fight, knows where to spot out Kohli. Kohli doesn't really have the weapon to go in for this play, even though he found the headshot onto Ace, but the weapon not really giving him the edge that he needs here. As ChillCord now losing out on one of their key players, they still do get the plan down for themselves. As Shadow Frags now, they need to coordinate together and go in for a full side flush.
Now, how are they going to do that is the question. Now, 3 players coming in from that CT division. Meanwhile, the other players trying to make their way through mid. Paranoia seems to be successful, but no kills on the back of it. And here they come, and DC manages to have both of them. Techno lines up the third as he revives himself with the ultimate. One small hook for Shadow Frags has sort of been diminished. RNTX Venka, the last and final standing player. We talked so much about this lad. I talked so much about this lad finally showing up his true potential, landing up a double. ChillCord. I'm looking at 30-0 at this point, aggressive. I'm not sure if that is an over-ambition, but Shadow Frags, in spite of all their good Valorant play that they have shown in the first 3 rounds, it seems like ChillCord will be a little tough to handle.
This is where they're really going to be going in for these hits here. The members of ChillCord, this last round for them was just pretty much isolated on each and every front. And honestly speaking, the members of Shadowfrag, you can tell that they have the right idea in the way that they're going in for these engagements, but the gap when it comes down to the mechanical skill is really being tested by the members of ChillCord in so many of these engagements. Maddie now, once again, towards this link side, knows where the position of one of the players is. He has the right idea. He's trying to isolate out the duel, but he's now stuck in a corner. He has nowhere to run and absolutely nowhere to hide. The paper-thin walls of Corrode is not going to allow you to run away from anything here. Possibility of a 0-4 could just be on the cards. Subito takes so much damage from that one snake bite. Positions revealed, and Venka is just ready to go in for that hit. The Shadow Frags, last 2 players remaining, and good God, I don't really see a situation where they're going to be able to run away with this one.
I want to see some nutty shots from that Marshal.
Yikes!
Instead, I got to see one from the Sheriff. Paranoia coming through. Ace does find himself an outlaw, to be honest, but I'm not sure that this weapon is going to change the course, or it might. Lands a shot onto Techno. It was lucky for sure, but you need a lot more of these lucky hits if you want to be Shadow Frags. Frags in the shadows, but this time this man falls. Kohli seeks his revenge, but Ace doubles it up. The 1v2 DC lands the final low, and ChillCord with 4 rounds to Shadows 0. I think the rhythm of this game has been set. Defenders actually going in for a timeout. This is where it feels like Shadow Frags, they are sort of prepared.
I'm kind of a little bit surprised that they even opted to go in for such an early timeout here. They could have utilized that last round as it was an eco to just really stabilize themselves a little bit more, but it's okay at the end of the day, I would say, because ChillCord has just been utilizing their mechanical skill to its fullest, right? Especially with Venka sitting on that outlaw. He kind of understood that, hey, this is an eco round coming in from the opposition. That basically means what? You're gonna have to run your way into me on that outlaw, which is pretty much a glorified operator at this point. You can one-shot pretty much everyone across the entire map. And being able to take full control of that economy is what separates these tier 1 professionals from everyone else. You can tell that Venka, he understands this. Picking up on that outlaw on a round like this just pretty much guarantees them that victory no matter what happens to them, without taking a very significant hit for their overall economy. Now though, with the economy being stabilized once again for the members of Shadow Frags, what do you want to bring onto the table? Do you want an operator of your own? They don't really have the eco to do that, sorry. Or do you want to go in for something a little bit faster? There's no real flashes in the hands of Shadow Frags whatsoever. While on the opposite side, ChillCord, they have that Euro to give them that slight bit of an opener that they need for that attack side. They need to be very decisive in the way that they go in for their hit here, because map control is going to be the name of the game for them with this comp. They cannot play this one slow. Any form of bunker strat that they try to do will easily get overtaken by the members of ChillCord.
This overstatement coming in from Kohli every single time, right? Ventures onto difficult territories and does not manage to actually find an exit from it. Look at Obito finding their shot on towards Techno. It seems like Shadow Frags have their task cut out, but it's Helef who's the last man standing. It will be difficult for the rest of the lads to try and double up, but I think Helef knows what he's planning. Picks up the spike, moves in towards that A side. Now he needs to plant as quickly as possible so that he can isolate those players. only comes down to whether or not Ghostly will be able to reach on time. He has that reconnaissance. Information not being there. Ghosty XD fires up. And LF falls. The first round for Shadow Frags. But will this be the first of many will be my question, because it does not seem like it. Silly errors committed from ChillCord on their turn, which will cause problems. I mean, Kohli's overcommitment has definitely giving Shadow Frags an advantage in the earlier starts of the round, because majority of the utility coming in from the Sentinel is being washed away.
Absolutely. This is where Shadow Frags have really turned up the heat here. Valorant finally going in their favor. And this is what I kind of meant, right? A couple of these players from Shadow Frags really do have that proper understanding on how to play this game. Even then, up against these players, nothing is ever that simple. The Viper utilizing the walls to get up close and personal for this hit. This is what I love to see. ChillCord, they understand that this Viper, this one wall can cause so many problems. None the wiser for it. DC is going to be able to find that opening kill over on the one, but Ghost immediately answers back on the opposite side. This is what you needed to see. This is how you take out the members of ChillCord, because they have this double controller setup. You shut them down as early as you possibly can and then keep the hits going in your favor. Venka's going to be able to find the immediate trade-off. They do get a 3v3 on the map, and the A side is ripe for the picking. They will get the plant, but this post plant is not going to be that easy for them, because the Armageddon in the hands of the Teo will cause huge problems for any defensive lines that they're trying to do.
3v3 for Shadow Frags. Kohli still alive. Venka unleashing himself. And Techno finding another one. ChillCord. They stack up one kill after the other. And they take control of the game yet again. One round given away, one round taken back. ChillCord maintaining that 4-round difference. Still, just a very shallow difference considering the experience, their professional careers as well. Shadow Frags doing a very good job in the way they're trying to hold down the opposition. It's just unfortunate that you will have to play with ChillCord along the way of the tournament, because they certainly are going to dominate these maps. Maddie still waiting for it. The Viper wall separating so many of these players and Dragon to wash. Oh, don't really have a weaponry to stop them. And Venka and DC, 4 kills shared between these two lads. They completely destroy Shadow Frags, and now it's just left with Maddie.
That Viper wall is just so strong. I still remember when this map first came out, right? A lot of players were kind of complaining that, hey, the mid side is just so difficult to break into because there's 2 different lines of sight that you have to worry about. You're not going to be able to break through as easily. And then, lo and behold, everyone just figures out that, hey, one Viper wall cuts up this entire portion, and it allows you to walk so deep into this mid side that you don't even have to worry about the knee deep of the main mid. Instead, you can worry about the connector zone from A. It's stuff like this, the small details that you can think of that gives you such a significant edge. Venka gets taken out, but at the end of the day, that really just doesn't matter for them whatsoever. 1-6 on the scoreline here, ladies and gentlemen, as ChillCord are just in a line of their own here. You can tell that the game is just going in their favor. And for you guys back at home, things can go in your favor as well if you check out all the links down below in the description, because for the Intel Gamer Days, Amazon is offering up to 40% off on select Intel Core powered gaming laptops till the 31st of August. And that's not all. You can also enjoy an additional instant bank discount of up to 8,000 INR if you utilize the correct card. Make sure to check out all the links down below in the description if you want to get a little bit more information on what's going on and what's not happening. Because now jumping on back in towards the game, it seems as though Maddie, he's going to be the one to find the opener and catch out his own Sentinel turn.
Ultimately activated. Venka finding Maddie on the initial locations. DC, though, lands up a couple of headshots before being taken down. The man advantage is there, but it's been nullified. It's 2v2 now. Shadow Frags needs to find a way to enter onto the site. Ultimates once again being committed. But will this work is my question. Drag to wash. He was just too fluctuated in that situation. Could not really make the decision. And Helef finding that frag onto its ace. ChillCord find another chill round in their kitty. 71 the scoreline, and it seems like Shadow Frags just falling a little short, especially when it comes to those crunch moments. 2v2 can really be in a situation you can't really let pressure up you, especially in such dire situations.
One of the things that I remember and I smile about sometimes as well when I see Kohli's name. We had an interview once with Kohli. I don't know if you remember or not, where we asked the guy how many games does he play in a current act. If I recall, the act started about like a month or two ago, and somehow Kohli had over 500 games. When you have a player like that on your team, you know for a fact that you're in for a long haul. And Obito, though, does find the opening kill over onto one, but Venka already answers back on the opposite side of the map. The players, they have the aim to make things work here, but Shadow Frag's aim alone is not going to give you that victory. Venka only been utilizing the Outlaw in a lot of these rounds, and this one Outlaw has found so much value throughout this entire game.
Right, washed. Knows there might be someone in close proximity and decides to guard this B side all by himself, where there are a couple of players from the ChillCord side. It really is going to give away his position, so they know now that there is a Guardian Angel support that was coming in from other side. Venka has neutralized, especially with the Outlaw, and now look at this, one more shot and Dragon Washed being absolutely destroyed. It's 8-1 of Shadow Frags, and it's definitely not working out.
What's hurting them the most here has to be the fact that this one Outlaw is forcing them to buy a lot of these full armor buys. Because if they don't buy full armor, this one Outlaw in the hands of Venka will shred them throughout every single one of these rounds. The Outlaw is such a powerful weapon, and the fact that it can be bought in almost every single round without damaging the economy whatsoever on the side of ChillCord is what's really breaking them down piece by piece in so many of these rounds. Once again, opening for the hit here. A little bit of damage being peppered onto Helef here. He's not going to be able to go in for free anymore, but as long as Techno has the timing, he spots out one, he gets the kill. Mid is now his, and now they're hunting down the last. Obito is not going to be ready for that one to come in either. The Shadow Frags lost out on all their players almost instantaneously, and down over to a 2v, make it a 1v4 situation. It's all up to Dragon to try and maybe turn things around for his team.
Shadow Frags, where is your brilliance? Where are your shadows? Wherever they are, they must be in a dark place, because they're not hunting, they're not haunting. ChillCord is definitely on the sunny side of this competition right now. 9-1, you know, you've got a tremendous lead going ahead for you. Of course, the competition is not in level grounds, but still, I think for any professional athlete, a victory is always a victory, and you would take any as long as they come your way. Viper Wall being activated, and a couple of these players from Shadow Frags deciding to push against it. Meanwhile, Ace trying to guard down that A side all by himself, who will get swarmed. 4 to 5 enemies right up front. He decides to stay low as of now, right behind the smoke itself. Kohli, no information on the cam, but Obito has a chance.
Indeed.
Not anymore. DC wakes him, and so does Venka. Drag to Wash being shut down. Kohli has been spotted as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if he manages to get the kill, and he does. ChillCord, 10th round to Shadow Frags 1. Love this. In spite of all the hurdles, it seems like ChillCord, their chill and their calm just never really goes away.
That is exactly what you want to see, Shadow Frags. This is just one of those teams that just can't really get a proper note going for themselves, and it's understandable. You may say that, hey, Shadow Frags is just playing horribly here, but that's not really the case. ChillCord just has a lot more mechanical prowess. They've been playing this game as their jobs for years now. And you can tell exactly how it has shaped this team to be the incredible beast that they are today. Techno now, he's trying to look for the opener, there's a resurrection available to him, so he can instantly go in for another hit of his own, speeding across. Techno is going to be able to find that kill over towards Ghost. His life is now in his own hands as Ace in towards a bad angle, gave away his position, has been spotted. Kohli does find the simultaneous trade, and now it's all down to a 1v3 situation. As this is the last round of this half, you can see that players, they're going to have a little bit of fun here. With the last one, soon to be spotted.
11-1.
Switching sides.
Easy stuff for ChillCord at this point, and it's just 2 moments away before this game actually comes down to a close. Really want to find how can Shadow Frags react to it, because I think at this point even they have accepted defeat, but just about showing some nerves of steel before you actually bow out for competition, because you always want to have your best performance up there, especially when you're playing online, especially when you're playing competition of this sort, which is so respected.
As far as engagements are where this team's really gonna shine the most. Smatty now. We'll have to see where the build-up works for them. The Shadow Frags on this attack side, things are just not gonna get any easier. I like the plan that they wanted to go in for, utilizing Neho for themselves, but Neho just, without any form of flashes, it's always so difficult to find value out of. And Helef now in towards the back line, position completely revealed. Ace, he had the spider sense, is tingling for that one. As Kohli still alive and kicking to try and hold on to the line here. DC, perfect positioning, good for the double. Give it up for this man when it comes down to his aim. Cool as a cucumber when it comes to it all. Obito does find the trade-off at the end of the day, but even then, it's down over to 1v2 on a 1-11 scoreline, possibly going in the opposite direction, because it's going to be DC with the perfect flank with this buddy on his side to go in for that kill. And Shadow Frags, they're staring down the barrels of a possible 13-1 loss.
So we watched a 13-0 game today. Now I think I am going to watch a 13-1. Now this is going to be a day and a half, to be honest, because day when you expect some competitive matches, you get to see some one-sided affairs, some one-sided blinders, to be honest. In ChillCord, they aren't stopping, and they possibly aren't going to stop anytime soon. One more round and this can actually end. Especially if Shadow Frags don't really get shots like this, but Drag to washed. It was a good one, especially against Venka. You've got to be right up in terms of your reflexes up there to get the better of Venka, especially in terms of speed and reflexes. Drag to washed has the outlaw right now, but will he be given vision is my question. The Viper Wall really dissects the territory though, as Techno and everybody else do follow suit. Shadow Frags completely stopped dead on their tracks. It seems like once again they are at a loss of ideas of where do they want to head. Want to take things slow for sure, but do they have any openings is my question.
Not many easy openings, I would say, but he's creating something bigger here for his team. He does find one kill, but immediately gets traded off from the sidelines. The weapons not really in the favor of ChillCord here, as multiple DM in their hands. The Guardian not going to be able to find much for themselves. They are just going to keep on falling. Obito does get the kill, and finally an olive branch pretty much that could be set for the members of Shadow Frags here, because there's nothing more that you can do. Yeah, you get this round, but then the fall, of course, but have such a steep climb ahead of you to take 10 consecutive rounds up against ChillCord, to not do a single mistake up against this team, to go in for an overtime and a victory, to bow out this caliber will be a tough ask. And if you're able to do this, if you're able to mount this, it will be an up century.
Yeah, it will. It for sure will. Come back for sure, but ChillCord I think would want to finish things up extremely quick, especially after that round. I think they will also awaken from their senses and be like, wait, something is not working out. Hello on the other side, just waiting. I haven't seen the best of Helef today. I think it was a show run by DC and Venka. Stepped up really well, Well, let's find out if ChillCord can actually do this round away with this round. In fact, with just pistols, DC still managed to land another one. Maddie finds the trade. It's
They
a
don't
4v4
know.
right now, and Techno, he has such a good line of sight.
That angle is deeper. He doesn't know the angle is deeper. It whipped everything.
Eyes are bleeding aggressive. I don't know, I just got death from my eye. I didn't get blind, I got death from my eyes because I don't know what I just witnessed.
Oh god. Do you know what this reminded me of?
Brother,
Do you
what's
remember
that,
Team
brother?
Heretics versus? Do you remember Team Heretics versus G2? I think it was Team Heretics versus G2 a long time ago on VCT. Because
Alright.
that's exactly what it reminded me of. That exact situation on Ascent. Oh god. This is what happens when you try to do trigger a split. A little bit of a sheriff in your hands.
I mean, if least Techno had a good view, not many people can actually see Teho's buttocks, but especially from such close proximity. Man had a clear vision. But he couldn't get the kill, which was so surprising. And now ChillCord, they're actually left with one man, and even he's gonna fall. Shadow Frags, wow. They certainly are dragging, and Obito is gonna count up his life because I don't think he had imagined he'd be running away alive from that situation.
Gonna have to see where they go here. That last round was of course coming out from them, so not in that end, but a little bit of a comical moment that you have to remember now from the side of ChillCord for this instance. Shadow Frags. They've been given another chance to really turn things around from here on out, but ChillCord, I don't really think they're happy about what happened in that last round. Being ahead with Techno leading the charge.
Ghosty have the Phantom equipped. Shadow Frags have been good so far, and it seems like they're doing a pretty good job as of now, as of yet.
Spike down.
LF with the Sheriff, we know he can actually be a monster. He certainly is a monster. Lands 3 right in front of him, but that was enough. Shadow Frags had enough. 4th round on board, and they're slowly climbing the top. Slowly climbing the scorecard at least, but still a very steep climb awaits. 8 more rounds back to back. 1 slip up and they lose this match. Not really a very favorable position you would want to be in, but for Shadow Frags, at least they've improved the situation from much worse.
Absolutely. Credit where credit is due. The members of Shadow Frags, they are not a bad team. They have the markings of a really good squad, but a lot of their strategies have yet to really find shape here. They don't know exactly what to do if they do lose out on any of their initial engagements. Venka here now, especially just being that equalizer and that game changer for his team, immediately being able to shut down 2 players, did overheat to go in for that third, but that's completely fine because he did his job. He found his 2. And now, slowing things down over towards his team as ChillCord. They're just going to need to wait because 2 of the biggest problems on the team have already been shut down, the Tejo and the Neon. So there's no fast entries coming in, and there's no Armageddon that they have to worry about to come into.
But there is one thing to worry about, and that is going to be the ultimates that are on Shadow Frags. We're gonna find out if that can actually be implemented. One of the ultimates being committed. Ace needs some information from inside the site. Shadow Frags do decide to engage as of yet, but the battles haven't yet broken open. Spike goes in as ChillCord. They wait. Kohli will be the first one to take an engagement, and the hat comes off. Neural Theft being activated. Kohli finds a double. Techno lands up as well, and ChillCord, they win this match by a significant margin. Actually, 13-4 has been a most favorable scoreline. Not a favorable scoreline per se, but the most frequently visited scoreline, because every team that lands up in a situation like ChillCord, they end up being on a 13-4.
Other than the other guys, right? Because when the first initial game was a 13-0 scoreline going in their favor, so that was a different story that we don't really want to talk about. But ladies and gentlemen, this particular game was quite the interesting one at the end of the day, because I was expecting this to be a little bit more closer, but at the same time, I'm very surprised and I'm kind of happy in the way that it did go, because we saw a lot of really good and great moments coming in from the members of Shadow Frags. They had the proper ideas to really go in for the set plays and setups. They just couldn't really keep up with the raw aggression and, of course, the raw aim that was being brought onto the table by the members of ChillCord. You had Venka, who just DMs like what? 3 to 4 hours a day. So going up against a player like that, it'll be a very difficult feat indeed. But that's all that she wrote for this particular map, because I would say that the members of ChillCord, they didn't go in for anything groundbreaking. It was a very basic Viper setup that you can do for any team pretty much. People do this in ranked as well, where you utilize that Viper wall in towards that mid side, cutting up the connector position and also the deep mid, where you're just going to be able to walk up for free, take that space, and then cause defenders to be in a lot more of an uncomfortable spot, especially when you have that Euro and that flash to give you that opening that you need. It's the small stuff like this that make these professionals the way that they are, and why they're so favorable to win not just this match but also this entire tournament. So hopefully they don't take it in the wrong light that, hey, we're bashing on them, because we're happy with the performance that you had. You went up against insurmountable odds. You went up against the Titan of the Titans in the side of ChillCord, right? And you still pulled off 4 rounds, and a lot of those rounds were a lot more than it seemed.
Makes sense. But the only fact I would disagree is that, yeah, bro, we are bashing a lot of these teams and they deserve to be bashed. You're just bad. You come back better. Do better. I mean, I'm not a professional player. I can't play that well. But yeah, dude, I've got to say what I watched, right? And if I see stuff like that happening where Techno has the Teho right in front, he stands up, he still managed to get the kill. Like, what are you expecting, bro? Like, absolute insane stuff is happening. But never mind, I think still ChillCord, apart from that, actually had a very good day. And look at that, stats on Venka and DC. Absolutely insane. 355 a combat score on Venka and 281 on DC. These two had a roller coaster. But on the other side, it was Ace, Maddie, who were trying a lot, but it seemed like the weight of Obito, Drag Washed, as well as Ghosty was just a little too much to carry on the lanky shoulders.
Yeah, a lot of those impact frags really did come out from Dragon, but they were not really able to capitalize on those impact frags, because once again, the set play that they were trying to do with the Teho just didn't really find its fullest fruition in a lot of these rounds, and it's understandable at the end of the day that it's bound to happen. But credit where credit is due. We knew for a fact that ChillCord was going to win this. The real question was, at what scoreline were they going to win this at? Because this team, they're pretty much guaranteed a one-way ticket over to at least the quarterfinal stage if they don't go up against one of the other great teams on the round of 16. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all that we have for you in front of our screens for tonight. Those were the 3 games that we did pick out for you. And as we are going to be heading on out, make sure to check out all the links down below in the description, and also hit that like and also hit that subscribe button as well. Because in celebration of the Intel Gamer Days, of course, the Amazon is offering up to 40% off on select Intel Core powered gaming laptops till the 31st of August. And that's not all. You can also enjoy an additional instant bank discount of up to 8,000 INR if you check out all the links down below. But tomorrow we're going to be back with, of course, a lot more Valorant action for the Intel Gamer Days. The games will still continue, and we still have a lot more BO1s in store for you before the BO3s start to roll around from the quarterfinal stage. It's going to be your boy Aggressive but Salty signing on off, and we're going to be seeing you then with a lot more action for the Intel Gamer Days Valorant Community Cup. Good night and happy gaming, everyone.